Namaskar. The Bose Deception is now being dispatched. It has already reached the T3 terminal in Delhi, and it is on the way to the bookstores, all the leading bookstores across the country. You will start getting your copies very soon, within the next 10 days or so, and it will be in your hands very soon. Now, this is a time to be upbeat and be happy that such a book has come out. It has been published by the world's largest book publisher, Penguin Random House, and we are hoping that this book will be appreciated among the readers. But I'm making this video today to do some plain speak. I need to say a few words which might sound very bitter to you. It does not make me happy to say these things, but I think it's time to take a reality check. I don't need to repeat anything about the Netaji disappearance mystery case and what we have been doing for the last 20 years. You are well aware of it. But still, I would just like to take you through a few things. I don't know how many of you have seen this or read this book. This book came out in 2004. This was Anuj's first book. And this is what triggered the formation of Mission Netaji. In fact, this book was published even before the Justice Mukherjee Commission report was out. After the Mukherjee Commission's report was rejected by the government without giving any reason, we started our transparency campaign using the Right to Information Act. You know about that, so I'm not going to say much about it. But with all the information that we could gather, the next book was this one. This was also done by Anuj. To make it available to a wider audience, this book was also translated to Hindi and later to Marathi. A condensed version of this book was also published to make it easily understandable to the lay reader. This book was What Happened to Netaji. Then came our book, Conundrum. It was the final resolution of the Netaji disappearance mystery, with all facts, evidence recorded in it. And both these books were widely appreciated, and we thought that they were read widely too. But still, Conundrum was too fat, too thick. Not everybody could read a 1,000-page book. So we brought out a condensed version. Government doesn't want you to know this. And again, to make it available to a wider readership, we got it translated to Hindi. Gumnami Baba or Sarkari Jhoot. The next one in line was the biography of Netaji. A lot of people had criticized us that we are only sensationalizing the mystery aspect of Netaji and not talking about his politics, his ideals. So I wrote this biography and it was published in 2022. And this too was widely appreciated, widely read. And as an author, I have been very happy about its performance. The biography has also been translated to Hindi, again, to reach a wider readership. And now the book is available in paperback also. It has come out recently, so I guess you can have a look at it. A lot of people would like to read because this is a lower priced version. There has been no change in the content remains the same, but this is just a paperback. Now last year I wrote another book which was apparently a little off the way. It did not concern directly the topic of Netaji. It was India 1947 to 57. The first decade, the birth of a republic. This book is not on Netaji, but the reason for writing this book is directly linked to the Bose mystery. Because to understand the ground reality, the political reality, which provides context to the mystery that has gone on for so many decades, you need to understand what was happening around the time of independence and the subsequent decades, of which the most important decade was this first 10 years, 1947 to 1957. So this is the body of work that we have presented to you over the last 20 years. And this is based on everything that we have done on ground. Not many historians can claim credit for getting thousands of files declassified and then writing new books on those files. I think we stand in a league different from professional and academic historians. And you are also well aware that we have left everything else in life. I have quit a very lucrative job which I was doing solely to see an end to this unending controversy which has been dragged on for decades, for 7-8 decades, and to find the answer which we have. We are pretty confident that we have found the right answer. Now all we need is an acceptance from the government, and that is the pain point. That is where the tragedy lies, and this is where what I say is going to sound very bitter to you. But it needs to be said. We can blame the government, we can blame the political parties, we can blame Congress as much as we want for not revealing the truth about Netaji. for trying to suppress the role played by Netaji, his ideology, his politics, which present an alternative to the Gandhian narrative that has been built over the last 70, 80 years and which still continues to dominate our political discourse. Through Bose, I tried to present that alternative as comprehensively as possible. And those who read the book, they appreciated that fact. New questions emerged, new discussions emerged, new debates emerged. Our books on mystery have created ripples. But still the government is not budging. Although we don't have a Congress government for the last 10 years, the BJP is in power. Even the BJP is not doing anything on this count. Although they had promised before coming to power that they will resolve the mystery. But after they came to power, they accepted the Congress government's decision and they have continued with that. Although they did a few good things, they brought Netaji to the forefront in contrast to what the Congress had done. Congress had completely relegated Netaji to the background. And it was always about the Nehru and the family. But despite having done that good work, the BJP has not uttered a word on this other than saying under pressure that they have accepted the UPA government's decision, the Congress government's decision regarding rejection of the Mukherjee report's findings. But if there is any new information, they will reconsider that decision. Now, after that announcement, we have published Conundrum, but the government did not respond. We have published Bose, the government hasn't responded. And now we are coming with the Bose Deception. Will the government respond? Frankly speaking, I don't know. But that is our aim. Because Bose Deception is not only just another book. It is, as I have announced earlier, it is a weapon. It gives the government an action plan. And it is based entirely on declassified files. The thousands of declassified files which came into our hands in the past decade. We have analyzed those files and we have written this book solely based on those files. And we clearly show that the information contained in those declassified files are enough to prove that there was no plane crash, and as a consequence, there is no question of Netaji's death in that. But why should the government listen to us? In January 2022, when the government was celebrating the 125th birth anniversary of Netaji, and when Bose the Untold Story came out, I had floated a petition through change.org. It was completely non-controversial because all I asked was the government to set up a research institution in the name of Netaji. I requested the government to publish Netaji's works comprehensively collected because it is still scattered all over the world, and I am happy to help the government if they want to do it. So these are a few things which I asked which are completely non-controversial, and anybody, even if he or she is not a follower of Subhash Bose, should agree to. And I floated this petition through change.org so that I can collect a substantial body of signatures. I had asked for just 1,00,000 signatures, 100,000 signatures. Just signatures. No money, no buying books, just clicking a link and putting your name there. That's all it takes. Do you know the number of people who signed the petition? I had asked for 1,00,000. The number of people who have signed that petition in the last 2.5 years is just 38,000. A lot of people came up with ideas telling us, do this and do that. Sorry, boss. We have done what we could have done. The ball was in the court of the people to sign the petition and put pressure on the government. We would have taken those signatures to the government and campaigned for it. We have seen the government response. When there is enough public pressure, the government responds. But we don't even have public pressure, which means people are just not interested. Or if they're interested at all, they're just interested in talking and giving their opinion in Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, or just posting pictures of Netaji and saying Jai to Netaji and Jai Hind, and that's why it ends. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. It's not going to get us any results. All we want is your support. We are fighting the case. We are aiming to get the truth established, accepted by the government. Help us. So, when we are fighting a case, when we are going all out to get the truth out, if this is the kind of support we are going to get, I don't think any government will ever respond. You can continue. People can continue to abuse the Congress, abuse Nehru, Indira Gandhi, subsequent Congress prime ministers, Congress governments, and even the BJP. But that's not going to help in any way. The government doesn't care whether whatever you say on social media, unless there is a concrete action. And so what is the action? The action is buy the book, read it, talk about it, gift it to your family and friends, bring it out, because this book has something which no other book has ever produced. It is meant to bring a closure to the case. You might argue that people don't read English books so much, so they don't buy and all. They don't want to spend money on books. I'm sorry, I don't agree. I mean, we are not in the same league by many miles, but if I have to give you the example, I will give you the example of Chetan Bhagat's sales. From the rough estimates that I got from the internet, just about rough, I mean, I don't know whether they are accurate or not, but looked accurate. Chetan Bhagat's books have sold 20 million copies. Amish's books have sold about 7-8 million copies. And why not? About 15 years ago, in 2011, when the last census was done, India had about 35 million English speakers. That number surely has increased by now. And it should be, even by a conservative estimate, roughly around 40 million. I'm not comparing our works with Chetan Bhagat and Amish. Their works are in a different league. But can we target getting this book bought by at least 1 lakh people in 1 year, in the next 1 year? Do you think it is realistic? I'm not so sure, because when people don't want to sign a petition, which costs nothing, can we expect them to buy the book, read it, talk about it? Will that be asking for too much? Well, I don't have an answer to this question. You tell us. Because if people don't read about it, if people don't talk about it, if people don't put pressure on the government, then why should the government respond? This is not an easy matter. This is a very controversial, very sensitive, very tricky issue for any government. So for the government to take a concrete step, to do something, they have to see the benefit in doing it. At the end of the day, it's all about politics. If they don't see the benefit, why should they do something? Anything at all. We will continue to do what we are doing. We'll continue to fight. But then it's clearly a losing battle we are fighting if we don't get your support. I'm sorry, but only moral support, verbal support is not going to help. If we want a closure to this mystery, if we want the answers clearly, and it is not about ancient history we're talking about. We are not even talking about history. We are talking about modern politics. Because this is an issue which involves even the present day politics. If it was not so, the government would have divulged the truth long back. And this is something which we explain in each of our presentations, in each of the live sessions that we do. This is a political thriller, not a historical mystery. So at this stage, I can only request all of you to share this message as widely as you can. Share it with your friends, with your family, with people that you know. Social media influencers, big names have helped us in the past. They will do it again. But that is not going to be enough. Each one of us, each one of you will have to do your bit if you really want an answer. Or else it will remain as hollow talk. Let's walk the talk. Many people have asked what is new in this book. There's plenty new in this book. As I said, that we have used the files which have been declassified, which have thrown up plenty of new information. We will open up gradually, step by step. Cannot give you all the details right now. It will spoil the suspense. Let people start reading the book. Talk about it. Because the momentum has to be built up. Of course, we're not talking about a topic which is being written about for the first time. So there will be some common elements. Certain common elements will be there. But the way we have treated it, the way we have analyzed it, the way we have weaved in new information, the way we have explained it is absolutely a fresh approach with lots of new information. New ways of looking at what we previously knew. And let me tell you one thing very clearly, that the Bose Deception concerns only about the plane crash and the Russian angle. Because even after writing Conundrum and giving out all those details, we saw powerful lobbies suddenly spring up and give a new lease of life to this controversy around the plane crash. So it was clear to us that unless we comprehensively, absolutely and totally demolish the plane crash fiction, the myth, the lie, we cannot step on to the next level of Bhagwan Ji Gumnami Baba. So that is what we have aimed to do in this book. And let me tell you one thing very clearly before I end, that this book is our last chance to have the government accept the truth or give out the truth to the country. If we cannot do this with this book, then it's gone forever. So I hand it over to you, and I genuinely hope that you will go all out to learn the truth and compel the government to accept the truth. Without you, without your help, without your strong support, a book will remain just a book. And that will be the greatest tragedy of all. And that will be the greatest disservice we can do to Netaji if we don't do our own bit. That's all. I just wanted to say these words because they were weighing very heavy on my heart. So I needed to put them out, which I have done now. I hope you will not feel bad because of my plain speak and understand where I'm coming from. And let us all go out together and get this thing done. Thank you. Jai Hind.